And the only investment I have to make is just go to bed and wake up. That's it. You know, interest rates go up, interest rates go down, economy goes up, economy goes down, stock market goes up, stock market goes down, crypto goes up, crypto goes down. But cash value is going to only go one way, which is up. It can never lose value. It can never be less than what it is today.
Today, we're talking about things successful real estate investors do that you probably don't. Everybody talks about the burst strategy, flipping, wholesaling, buying multifamily, buying in the US, all kinds of things. But today, we have something very different that I started doing. And I know some investors do, but not enough, in my opinion, far from enough. So I'm really excited, Sarbloh, to have you on to talk about what do you do?
Yeah, François, I'm excited to be here. So I'm part of the Ascendant Financial team, and we're headquartered in Edmonton, Alberta. Our team is laser focused on teaching Canadians, individuals, investors, business owners on the process of becoming your own banker, the infinite banking concept. We have so many clients who are real estate investors, and they just can't get enough of this process because by implementing this process in their lives, they've radically enhanced the outcome of their real estate investments, and they've been able to achieve this without changing their cash flow, without taking on any additional risk, without working any harder, and without ever losing control or access to capital. And we've been doing this for several years, although we're headquartered in Edmonton, Alberta, but we work coast to coast, including the province of Quebec. And I've known François for several years. We were actually introduced an acquaintance of ours who has been practicing the process of becoming a banker also for several years now. And he's a real estate lawyer, a real estate investor himself. That's how both of us got introduced.
Yeah, and this is exciting because you mentioned some key points, control, and right now people are feeling the pain. We have no control over mortgage rates. As Canadian investors know, real estate investors, mortgage rates have gone up quite a bit. I
Yeah.
mean, of course, when you're buying, you're planning, and yeah, you plan a contingency fund, but you don't plan on 5 increases in a row. So, infinite banking, I mean, you have set rates, set criteria, and you're the banker.
You know, the keyword that you just mentioned, François, is that you are the banker. That's why
Yeah.
the title to the book, which kind of changed everything on how we go about financing things in life. The title of the book that we teach on or based on is called Becoming Your Own Banker, Unlock the Infinite Banking Concept by our late mentor, R. Nelson Nash. And in the title itself, the keyword is your own. So you are in driver's seat from get-go. You're only doing things that you have to do to achieve the success that you want to have. But just by adding one extra step to what you already are doing, you're just going to add that control aspect built in from get-go. You know, I've been investing in real estate also for several years, and knowing what I know now, which is the process of becoming a banker, I would still go about investing in real estate, but I'm just
Yeah.
going to change the process to go about doing it. You know, as a real estate investor, one thing that we are really focused on is building cash flow, building wealth, building that equity, building that appreciation. But one thing that we should keep in mind is to grow our capital to achieve all the building wealth that real estate helps us achieve. And then if you're able to grow your capital and then you're able to access against that growing pool of capital without ever interrupting the growth of your own capital, imagine the power that you're creating in terms of financial tailwind that is going to have, which is going to push you ahead in life financially. So every decision that we have made with the use of money in a life so far, and you can attest with it, is a financing decision.
Oh, yes.
Right? So we either pay cash for things, and as a real estate investor, I have piled up cash in someone else's bank. I'm not going to pick the name, doesn't matter which bank. It's one of the 5 banks that I also bank at. So I kept piling cash in someone else's bank, and once I had enough money or capital saved for down payment for an investment property, I took all that capital and I exchanged it as down payment. Yeah, so I achieved the objective of using the capital for buying the investment property, but all that capital now is gone. Now it's working for someone else. Now, if you're able to go about still achieving your objective of buying the property, but all your capital is still growing and working for you, would that put you in a better financial position than
Hmm.
sending your capital away? If it is, then you should certainly look into the process of becoming a banker, the infinite banking concept.
Yeah, no, this is insane, and it's kind of mind-boggling. If you're listening to this for the first time and learning about infinite banking, I think it might take a little bit of time to get used to the concept because it's so all-encompassing and so big that it takes a bit of time to digest. Like a steak, you don't eat the whole steak at once, so you have to do it a little bit at a time, and then you start understanding it, and then your eyes are open, and oh my goodness, you'll go from I'm gonna just show my stack of debit cards from all the different banks and bank accounts. If you can chuck all this at some point and stop losing this opportunity, like all this cash, like you said, this cycle of saving up for a down payment. And there's always somebody doing that banking function. So even if you do a joint venture, it's someone's capital that they got somewhere, and then it's gone and you're paying interest on it, so it's kind of adding insult to injury maybe. Like it's crazy. So this is enormous how it's going to change your real estate investing and not dealing with banks. So can you tell us more, or tell me more, Sarbloh, about not dealing with the bank? Because that sounds, you can get a
Yeah.
loan and I just approve myself, here you go, $1 million.
Yeah, so the process of becoming a banker, the infinite banking concept, that's the process, that's the concept, right? But to implement this concept, we have to use a tool, and that tool is called a participating dividend-paying whole life policy. The reason why we use that particular tool to implement this process called becoming a banker is because that tool is the best tool to get the job done, because it has all the characteristics that are required for you to be in total and absolute control from the banker's perspective, from the wealth builder's perspective. So, a tool called life insurance, in this case, participating dividend paying whole life, you have to capitalize your banking system, which is your life insurance, and build it to a point where it can do all these amazing things for you. So you have to put money in as premium. You already are flowing money to the books of someone else's bank. In fact, all your income today flows to the books of someone else's bank, and you're okay with it. You
Yeah.
truly are.
Don't ask
Imagine,
any questions.
right?
There you go.
Yeah, because we are accustomed to do that, and we always thought that, hey, that's the best way to flow money. Well, if you
Yeah.
take a portion of the money and gradually move it into your bank as premium, it creates a death benefit because it is life insurance. There's two possibilities, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from today. Either you're alive or you're gone. And
Yeah.
we don't even know what the tomorrow is. So when you put money in, insurance company is going to pile up death benefit. And then that death benefit is going to be paid to your family, income tax free, when you're gone. So if the objective is to, warehouse your money or warehouse your wealth in a way that you leave behind more for your family, well, guess what? The policy does that from death benefit standpoint. But the real value, in addition to that, is not just the death benefit, which is important, but it's when that premium comes in, it also piles up cash values. And that cash value is basically your capital. And the cash values in these policies grow every single day. I look at my cash value account every day. I wake up, I have more money than what I had the night before. And the only investment I have to make is just go to bed and wake up. That's it. Interest rates go up, interest rates go down, economy goes up, economy goes down, stock market goes up, stock market goes down, crypto goes up, crypto goes down. But cash values can only go one way, which is up. It can never lose value. It can never be less than what it is today. And it's growing because of insurance companies' contractual guarantees. There's contractual guarantees in this policy. Now, as this cash value increases in value, insurance company says, hey, as a policy owner, if you need access to capital, you can just call us and we'll issue you a loan which is equal to 90% of your cash value. So insurance company is willing to lend their capital at the loan to value 90% of your cash value on your demand. You demand the money and money shows up. It's pre-approved in the contract. There's no qualification. There's no income check. There's no consent to repayments. The only question insurance company is going to ask is, when you request a policy loan, hey, do you want to receive this money electronically, or do you want to receive this money via check? And that's about it. And when they issue that loan, and here's what real estate investors love about it. Well, obviously, when you get money as a loan, your money called cash values is still growing, but that loan is private between you and the insurance company. It's not,
Yeah, it's not on
right?
your
It's not
credit
reported
anywhere.
because insurance company is going to use your cash value as collateral for the loan, and they're going to put a lien on your death benefit for the loan because they know at some point you're gonna die. We all
Yeah.
have a best before date. We just don't know what that date is, right?
No, it's a surprise.
So they say contractually we're guaranteed to pay you the death benefit when you die. That's why it's called death benefit. So if there's any policy loans outstanding, principal and interest, it gets deducted from the death benefit and family gets the rest. So when they issue you a loan, you dictate how to pay back the loan. So you become the banker.
Yeah, total control, as you mentioned earlier.
Total and absolute control. Whereas if you borrow money from a bank today, well, you have to go through hoops of qualification, paperwork that you have to show. You literally have to prove them that you kind of don't need the money, and then they'll give you the money.
Pretty much.
Right? So, and then you're on someone else's terms to pay back the loan. There's no escaping it. You cannot call the bank today and say, hey, Mr. Bank, I owe you $1,000 per month in loan repayment, but I don't feel like making a payment today. Can I just take a vacation from it? It's not going to happen. Whereas policy loans with insurance company, you are going to be in total and absolute control on repaying the loan back. And then anything that you pay back to the insurance company, you are going to be able to re-access all that capital back, principal and interest, without qualifying again.
So it's re-advanceable, which is awesome. That's even better.
Right.
And a lot of people are dealing, a lot of real estate investors in commercial properties. So maybe they're residential, but they're commercial. And again, that's even more painful. Every year they have to go through your corporation and your books and everything. Now you don't have to justify anything. I spent $1,000 on my lava lamp, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's your choice. I mean, it's not a sound investment, but I got it for free. But anyway, if you were doing that, that would not be good. And then the banker would be telling you, hey, why did you do that? So you do have to be disciplined with this. Do you have some tips and tricks, like when you now have hundreds of thousands you have access to, like what's a good strategy to make sure you're maximizing your policy loans?
Well, one thing that we coach at SNF Financial to all our clients is coaching is going to be such an important factor in continuing to be a good infinite banker
so you
going
don't
forward.
stall and blow it on crazy things.
Exactly. So and your coach is not responsible for you, they're responsible to you. So right. So as you start building wealth in the policies and you want to capitalize on opportunities, always use your coach. One of the infinite banking practitioners on a team, we are by far the best at this in Canada, and we are by far the best coaches in North America on this. So use our coaches as a sounding board. And that's the energy that we get as coaches with our clients, is to work with them on strategies of using the policy for very specific purpose. I'll give you a scenario of one of the clients that we had, and he was in real estate investment. He's been buying real estate since 2009. And then he always had a joint venture partner in all his deals. They work together because they have a great mindset, and they're both engineers, so they love each other. And an opportunity came up for them early this year to buy a distressed property in Edmonton. And it's a two bedroom condo, 2-bathroom, 1 underground parking, 1 not underground parking, street parking, but designated parking. And then the opportunity was to buy this condo for $160,000.
Whoa, and that's really cheap.
It was cheap, right? So it was inexpensive. Now, they have been practicing the process of becoming a banker for a few years. So they have been building and capitalizing, no different than real estate. Real estate is something that you are going to be in for long term, because that's the real value in real estate. And ask yourself how long you need access to capital.
Forever.
So banking process is going to be forever for you too.
You die, really.
Right. So it just builds with you as you build your wealth with the family. So they have been, capitalizing their banking systems for several years. They saw this property and they had readily available access to capital via policy loan. So they called the insurance company. They said, I want to request a policy loan for $160,000. can you just send me the money? And insurance companies like, hey, you want check or you want electronic deposit? We'll just give it
And
to you.
that's it.
Right? So money showed up in 3 to 5 business days. And in 3 to 5 business days, they closed on this property using insurance companies' money. And the property is technically owned free and clear. They didn't use their money. They used insurance companies' money, but that loan was private between them and the insurance company because the lien for that loan and the collateral for that loan is the policy, not the real estate.
No.
Right? So they own the property free and clear using insurance companies' money while their capital is in the policy growing every single day uninterrupted. Now, they reevaluated the property like, well, we need about $20K to just do some renovation, right, to fixing it. So they requested another $20K from the insurance company. It's 2 guys. They've been capitalizing for a few years now. So they requested another $20,000 from the insurance company, got that money, used insurance companies' money to renovate. The whole project took them less than 2 months. And then working with a realtor, they're like, well, we can flip this property around for $220,000. Now, the plan B for them was, let's just say we couldn't find the buyer for $220,000. They can rent the property to someone and collect about $1,600 to $1,800 per month in rent. And that rent would cover the interest payments to the insurance company per month. That rent would also give them additional cash flow.
Yeah.
So tenant will pay back everything
for them
being the banker and still own the property and still have the extra cash flow. And at any time they have an opportunity to sell that property, they'll sell that property. And then once the property is sold, they'll backfill their policy loans, they'll have the extra profit, and then they'll rinse and repeat this process all over again. Wow. So by having access to capital, they were able to actually flip the property. They didn't have to go through renting it to anybody. And after paying the insurance company the interest, they still profited at about $20,000, $25,000 in profit.
And no painful appraisals, because when you're doing a flip, that's kind of a tougher situation. You're dealing with appraisals and banks, and maybe they don't want to lend on the deal, because in this case, it doesn't sound like it was distressed, but usually you want some sort of distressed property to do a flip, something that's got something really bad, and a lot of banks will not lend on it. They don't like the neighborhood or who knows what. This time they're just like, it's good. We know what we're doing. We've been doing it for 13 years. So let's buy it. Let's buy it cash. Let's fix it up. And as you said, exit strategies, sell it, keep it, rent it. It's all good. Like all of the options are good. So you're putting yourself as a real estate investor in the driver's seat now by becoming your own banker. You decide, you call the shots.
Well, you're not just the investor, you're also the banker.
Yeah, you're two role, double dipping. I love it.
Right? Building wealth and compounding wealth is amazing, but if you're able to deal compound wealth simultaneously while still obtaining all the objective, it doesn't take away any of your options.
No, it adds more options.
So yeah, and then again, going back to this particular client, so because they did things differently, they didn't even pay the interest back to the insurance company until the property was sold. They literally deferred all their payments. They're like, we're going to exit from this property no matter what. Either the tenant pays back the insurance company, or when we sell the property, that's when we'll pay back the insurance company. From their cash flow standpoint, they didn't suffer any cash loss.
That's a huge luxury, not having that stress of there's a big payment coming up and what do we do?
And they can also write off the interest charged by the insurance company against the capital gains on the property. So they have tax advantage, they're building wealth, they're producing cash flow by being in total and absolute control. So think about how this can benefit you.
Yeah, right? Who can say no to that? This is just insane. And especially right now, as we mentioned earlier, mortgage rates are going up or changing, fluctuating. You're dealing with some painful banks. You have to do all kinds of things. And now, if you want to find out more, why are Canadian real estate investors buying properties outside of Canada like crazy? Find out and click this video right here.